Welcome back to another video. My name is Jax. Thanks for joining me today. And today's video is all about those moments where I met my birth brother and sister for the first time in South Africa. So you may or may not know, we were staying in South Africa for 2 weeks. So we were in Johannesburg and practically went out there to meet my birth family. As said in the previous video, I already met my birth mum once and this was the second time that I would have seen her in the flesh. So it was quite interesting. The build up to meeting them. I was more nervous about my brother than my sister because I hadn't spoken to my brother, but I'd had conversations with my sister on the phone with my birth mum too. So we took a cab and went to go off to my birth mum's house for dinner. Now, I didn't know who was going to be at that house that day. So she wasn't very forthcoming with the information, so I didn't know what to expect. So I just knew that I was going there for dinner. So when I got there, I sort of thought I'd see my sister because I know that she lives with my mum. So when I got there, there she was, and we greeted each other, and it was pretty straightforward. It was just like, hello, you okay? Nice to meet you. My name is, and it was pretty straightforward, guys. She's quite shy, whereas I'm more loud and just outgoing and very talkative. And I could tell that it would take some time to warm up. But, I was thinking to myself, this is crazy because she's a lot younger than me. So I've got about 20 years on her. So I thought, this is going to be a lot for you right now because everything that you've ever known has completely changed. She knew prior to me coming to South Africa, but again, like I had to do some processing, I also understood that my family would have to do some processing too, because this was also a part of their journey in a separate sort of world. So I got my adoptee thing going on, but they're finding out that they've got a sister, and I'm the older sister as well. So those are my little siblings. And so, I really considered the fact that, it was going to be a lot for them to deal with as well. My brother, on the other hand, that was another story. So we'd never spoken before. We'd never seen each other. He'd never seen pictures of me. I saw pictures of him. So now I'm in my mum's house and I'm there with my sister and my kids. My husband wasn't well. He had food poisoning, unfortunately, so I had to leave him back. But again, I didn't even know I was going to meet them in this moment, so it was mind-blowing. Because usually I'd sort of like lean on him and, to kind of help me to regulate my emotions and stuff, but I kind of just went through it with the kids as he was resting up and getting better back at our apartment. So we're chilling at my mum's, and then the door opens and I look at the door. I see this tall, strapping young man, very handsome, and we look at each other. My first reaction, I was just like and then I asked him, do you know who I am? And he was like, yes. He said hello, he said my name. We both looked at each other for a few more seconds, and then we opened our arms and literally we were hugging for ages. A response that I didn't expect, actually, because like I said, I had some form of relationship, although very minute, with my sister. So we'd had conversations. She was always quite shy and quite quiet, but we'd spoken prior. Now my brother, there was nothing. So in that moment, I wasn't thinking, he'd probably give me the cold shoulder and be like, you're right, nice to meet you. I didn't know how he'd be, what his personality would be like. But he was cool as cucumber. And he was just like, man, my sister. Like, imagine you're my big sister. And oh, guys, I was very emotional. I was holding back the tears. Yeah, I just didn't even know how to be. So with my brother, we're a lot closer in age. So there's a 3-year gap between us. So I'm older and he's 3 years younger than me. So I feel like there was a bit more to sort of talk about. Like, he's a married man as well. He's got a child. So what was nice, he then started talking with the kids, and they were calling him uncle, and they were talking about life, and they were very surprised that he understood their slang, their twang. He was very up to date with some of the terms that the kids use, even some that throw me and I don't even know. And he knew exactly what we were talking about. I remember saying to him, do you understand us? Do you know what we're saying? But what was interesting is there were moments with my birth mum, my sister, auntie, brother, where I'd have to ask them to repeat themselves, and vice versa. They'll do the same to us. Now, I know that they could understand me, and I did try to speak a lot clearly so that they understood what I was saying. But with my husband and my son, I could see my birth mom a lot of the times, and auntie like her. And then they'll say, I don't know what he's saying, I don't know what he's saying. Because we're from the UK, but we're also from the West Midlands as well, Birmingham. So the accent is a lot different to, say, for example, London. We pronounce things different. So it was quite interesting to sort of navigate through each other's accents and understand what was going on. But with my brother and my sister, I was okay in understanding them. Even with my birth mom, yeah, her dialect isn't too bad. But I find that when she's telling a story, then, you know, when the excitement comes and you get into character, that's when I'm like having to listen and ask her to repeat that again so that I can understand. So yeah. Another interesting thing that I realized about myself and my siblings is we all have the same nose. Yes, we all have the same nose. Like, looking at them, I was like, my God, like, I can see where the nose comes from. What was also interesting is just seeing our similarities. We don't share the same dad, but I can still see my mum's genes in them and in me. So, you know, having that reflection and seeing the DNA run through our body, it was very interesting, very interesting. Me and my brother spoke about it. My sister, I think, yeah, me and her look alike, although our tones are different. But we look alike. My brother, there's some similarities there, but we've all got the nose. So yeah, guys, it was a real refreshing first meet up. Very down to earth people. I'm just so grateful that I like them and that they're cool, because I can't even imagine what life would be like or what it would have been like in that moment if we just rubbed each other up the wrong way. And since then, you know, we've been speaking, and especially in relation to my brother, like, we get on so well. Because remember, my sister, she's actually 12, so she's young. She could be my child. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but with my brother, we get on really, really well. And the conversation wasn't forced. We met up a few more times. We met up by ourselves as well. He took me to Mug and Bean. Hold Tight Mug and Bean. Delicious food, delicious drinks. I like that restaurant. And yeah, we caught up for hours. So that was a beautiful moment, and I learned a lot about my culture, a lot about my family. He put some things into perspective to really help me to understand. So yes, a time was had, guys, a time was had, and that is the story of the first moments of meeting my siblings. So guys, that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. You know what to do. Subscribe to this channel, like and comment, and I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you in another video real soon.